Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Fiscal Talk. My name is Milica, and I'm a marketing manager at Fiscal Solutions. And today with us is one special guest. His name is Milan Lazarevic, and he is a general manager at Fiscal Solutions. Hello, Milan. How are you?
Hello, Milica. I am very good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for asking. So today we will cover one really interesting topic that we didn't have a chance to cover until now. So I think there is no one better to talk about it than you. And today we will talk about the large international fiscalization projects. So you actually did more than 30 international projects, right?
That's correct. I
Okay.
didn't count, but there have been plenty that I participate in.
Actually, I did count. I had to because I had to do this introduction. So, okay, so I have a couple of questions for you. And if that is okay with you, I will start with the first one and then we will continue. Okay, great. Okay, so my first question would be, so Fiscal Solutions mostly works with international retailers, POS software vendors, and so on, which are actually large systems. What the fiscalization looks like in those systems? I mean, how do they manage to work compliant all around the globe if we know that only in Europe, every single country has its own law?
So in general, I would say that fiscalization requirements or obligation is related to the retailer. And it's always the retailer, the one who needs to fulfill all the requirements and to be legal in front of the law in certain country. So from that perspective, we can differentiate two types of the retailers. We have the retailers that are developing their own software, and then we have the retailers that are actually using software from the software provider. Of course, both scenarios are having pros and cons, but these are the two aspects that we can see. And then, depending of the concept they are using, they can decide to work on development on own fiscal solution, or they can just use the solution from the market. Anyhow, there is in both cases, there is a need for some additional support, which means that someone needs to follow all the rules and regulations. And for that purpose, companies are usually building their own teams if they would like to build their own solution and be compliant in the market by using their own resources, or they can use some external sources which will provide them with the solution and then monitor solution for them. So if you're talking about the retailer which is developing their own solution, they will usually build their own fiscal teams that monitor the fiscal law and making sure that they are compliant. If they're using the POS provider and using their solution, then those companies are either building their teams to remain compliant or engage external companies which will do their job for them. But there is no strict rule, and really depends from company to company, because we have examples where the retailers are actually using the external POS solutions from the POS providers, but still have to monitor these fiscal laws in order to give the orders to the POS software provider to develop that solution for them. So altogether, it's quite challenging.
Okay, great. Thank you for the detailed answer. Okay, can you tell us what could be some fiscal challenges that one retailer like H&M or Deichmann faces?
I believe not only H and Deichmann, but all the retailers are facing pretty much the same challenges. And let's describe this fiscalization cycle when it comes to the expansion in a new country. First of all, the fiscalization team must be established. This means that people with adequate knowledge needs to be grouped together in order to achieve these fiscalization requirements. This is not easy because this requires some dedicated knowledge and some specific knowledge in order to be able to run such a project. But let's imagine this team has been established. Next point is to go to the country and to look for the sources of the information, which in some countries are not published in the other than the local language. They are published from the different institutions. The sources are not easily reachable. So this is the next challenge that they are facing. So even if they are done with that step, The next thing is the translation of these fiscal laws into the retail processes, which is not easy if you don't understand the fiscal law and if you do not have the best practice. Once you're done with that step, you need to create the technical requirements which you will be using to develop your solution. And someone needs to validate that you actually understood this law correctly, and these are actually the technical requirements that you need to follow. Once you're done with that, you have to move forward with implementation and testing. And this is in certain countries, the certification follows this step. In order to be able to do that, you need to understand the right procedure and to have the right documents and how to. After that, the next phase is the rollout, which of course, once again, require understanding the procedure for the rollout, because in certain countries you have to do the certain registration of the software, devices, stores, even to engage certain local companies which are certified to do certain installations and so on. And once you're done with that project, then we are going into final phase, which is the maintenance of the complete solution. Because once you're done with the rollout, someone needs to continue monitoring this fiscal law in order to be compliant. So this is basically this fiscalization cycle as we see it.
Okay, great. Nice, because when you were talking, I was just thinking about the whole fiscalization cycle that we offer to our clients. And so this is a good beginning for another question. And that is, what challenges Fiscal Solutions had with its clients while implementing fiscal requirements? Is there something you will know forever, remember forever? Something that was interesting?
Yes, definitely. We had every single project has its own specifics, and there are always there is a lot of pressure always, and there are always some specific situations that could happen during the project. But one of very interesting stories happened to one of our customers, one large international retailer, which actually planned the complete process in very many details, started with the project on time, couple years before actually the rollout was planned. They engage us to understand the rules and requirements about the local regulations. They prepare the documentation. They develop this solution in advance. They planned the huge testing and everything. And that was really huge project with many people involved. And I would say one of the biggest projects that I participate in. And this project also involved certain people coming from their headquarters to do the testing in the stores, and they did so many different scenarios that we could say that this solution is bulletproof. Not to avoid any surprise or to be ready 100%, they divided openings in several phases. First phase was just for internal shopping, and then the second phase was for the customers, regular customers. And during this opening phase, everything was fine. People were well dressed. It was kind of a party, and we, of course, as a partner, participating in this party, and everything was fine. We've been talking to each other, and all of a sudden, all the systems start blocking. They could not even print a receipt, and it was a disaster. And then they start working on the manual receipts, because during that party, during that event, there was many people not working as a partners or employees of the company, but also as the guests. So you had to give them the receipts to go out. And at that point, it was a disaster. We did not know what is happening. And it was happening in the middle of the event. That system are just not working, and they are breaking down. And opening is just a couple of days away. And we've been there with a couple of us. Some of us had some technical knowledge, and we start working on the problem immediately. And that we spent many hours in the store. It was after midnight after we done our research, but we've been lucky that we actually caught the problem right in a store. And the problem was that they did not test. Even they did thousands of different tests using the real articles from the store. They somehow never test any article with Latin letters, which has these small marks about them, and they actually cause the problem because at their headquarters they never use it, they never develop it with that, and we luckily caught that as a problem. So next morning they grouped their team, they worked on it immediately, they resolved it immediately, so the opening was fine. But this was really an example when you have a really well-planned project with many people involved and doing it on time and going really deep into everything, that these details can change everything.
Okay, great. I was actually laughing the whole time while you were talking because, I mean, this is
Now
why
it's funny.
retailers.
Now it's funny, but at the moment it's not funny at all because you see the people around you just changing the colors and faces, and it's not fun at all, And you're responsible for something where actually they are all pointing at you, and then you're not sure even if it's your fault or not. At the end, we caught the problem, and it's not that they didn't know what they had to do; they somehow did not do it. So at the end, everything was fine. But at that point, it was disaster. Trust me.
It wasn't funny at all. So this is why retailers don't like fiscalization. I mean, you never know with technology, and especially when it comes to legislation. But how often does it actually happen? Not really often, right?
Not really often. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
the most challenging moments are with the new fiscal law because at that point, in most cases, not even the government have all the answers to all the questions, and this
Yeah.
is the biggest challenges. But as soon as you go live with a project after a couple of fiscalizations, then there are no such a challenging moments. But to be honest, this project happened in a country which had fiscal law for 10 years. So it was not new. It was the old fiscal law, but it was probably something else.
Whew. Oh, okay. Everyone who is watching right now, everything will be fine. Don't stress. Okay, great, Milan. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
You're welcome.
That will be all for today. It was my pleasure to speak to you, and thanks everyone for watching. If you have any additional questions, feel free to contact us at marketing@fiscal-solutions.com, or you can go and visit our fiscal portal if you want to check out on some certain country of your interest. The link will be in bio of this video. Thank you once again, and until next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.